That's right, we're already talking Sonic Movie 4. Hey, what's up everyone, it's me, SpeedSuperSonic. We're gonna say another video. In this video today, you heard me right, we're talking Sonic Movie 4, and not just anything, hypotheticals, what I want to see, predictions, stuff like that. No, we are talking about actual Sonic Movie 4 news, details that have dropped, things that we can expect, what's been going on in the world of that, because I know a lot of people are interested, and actually there are more developments on that than any other piece of Sonic media right now, despite how far away Sonic Movie 4 is, with it releasing in spring of 2027. We actually have a lot to go over. So without any further ado, let's talk about what we know so far about Sonic Movie 4. Now, something I've been talking about for a while, ever since Sonic Movie 3 ended, was Dr. Robotnik, because if you guys aren't aware, it's been almost a month since the movie's released, so I'm going to get into some spoiler territory here. The ending of the movie kind of leaves the door open for an Eggman revival, but very much so could work as a send-off as well, which would be cool. If that works as a send-off, I would have been happy with that. If this is the last time we see Dr. Robotnik in the Sonic movies, I think that was a perfect way for the character to go out. But on the other hand, I don't think anybody, including the filmmakers, Jim Carrey himself, and especially the fans, want Jim Carrey's Dr. Eggman out of these movies. He needs to return. I think he's going to return. He is the biggest draw for these movies. I think bigger than Sonic, bigger than Shadow. People love Jim Carrey. They want to watch Jim Carrey in a movie. And really, this entire decade, this has been the only way to do so, is Sonic the Hedgehog. So you gotta bring him back for 4. He's just too big. He's too good.
What do you mean by that?
He delivered his best performance in 3. It was the best that Dr. Eggman, Jim Carrey, has ever been in the franchise so far, so you just have to bring him back, and I think that's what we're going to see. And Jim Carrey talked about the fact that he has interest in it. In an interview, Jim Carrey states that he wants to return to Sonic Movie 4, and not just that, various other projects as well he's expressed excitement in. There's been so much talk about Jim Carrey not, coming back to Sonic or this movie or that movie, because he's talked so much about retiring and not really wanting to do acting anymore, but it seems like he's kind of changed his mind about that a bit, especially with him returning for Sonic 3. I think the question of is Jim Carrey going to return as Eggman is a bigger question than ever at this current moment with how Sonic Movie 3 ended. So with Jim Carrey kind of like alleviating the fear of retirement, him stating that he has interest in returning as Eggman in a future Sonic the Hedgehog movie being Sonic 4, and with the way that Sonic Movie 3 leaves off, I could very well see them absolutely bringing Jim Carrey back for the next movie. He is the biggest, he is the best, I really want this. A lot of people are going to be asking, well, how did he survive? But I feel like that very last post-credit scene answers a lot of our questions. The very last post-credit scene is the reveal that Shadow is still alive, and Shadow was the one pushing the space colony arc where Dr. Robotnik was inside. If Shadow can survive that, they're gonna find some way for Eggman to have survived it as well. We see Shadow in this pretty normal grassy field. It looks like Earth. I'm going to assume that's what it is. I'm sure Eggman will find some way around the same area, potentially, maybe, I have no clue. Maybe they'll be like buds now or something, and they'll play up into the whole amnesia thing, which I kind of hope they don't do. But not only was I saying that I think you need Jim Carrey back for Sonic 4, but hearing that he wants to do it, that he has interest in doing it, makes me very happy. You don't have to like drag him out of bed to do this. Like, it's something that he really does care, love, and enjoy doing. So that's very big, and I'm very excited for that. So I really hope that we do get it confirmed that yes, Jim Carrey will be officially returning in Sonic 4. Don't take this as confirmation he'll be back, but with him expressing interest, with how the movie leaves off, with I feel like them needing Jim Carrey in these movies at this point, it's a good sign and something that you should be very excited for. So keep an eye on Jim Carrey's return for Sonic Movie 4 very, very soon. Now, the next piece of news is also very exciting because it is coming from the writers of the Sonic movies. That's Pat Casey and Josh Miller. They always, whenever they open their mouths in interviews, they deliver some juicy stuff, some stuff to get excited for, some stuff to anticipate. It usually ends up happening. Of course, they're not going to spill all the beans, but they talk about what we can maybe expect in Sonic Movie 4. So let's take a look. Josh Miller and Pat Casey teased that the evolution of the next Sonic film may take the team on an interstellar journey in addition to new characters joining the fold. Casey teased, "We're almost put a sequence like that in Sonic the Hedgehog 2 and then ended up not having space for it, but we definitely know that there are other worlds in these more fantastical zones and we would like to see it, so we assume the audience would like to see it as well." For Sonic the Hedgehog 3, the story was all about this military stuff and it was inherently earthbound, but possibly in the future we might get out into some more fantastic places. That of course is very interesting, I'm sure very exciting to Sonic fans, because they've been asking for this forever. The Sonic movies outside of flashbacks really took place entirely on Earth. Think about it, Sonic's backstory, another planet, Sonic's planet, but it's a flashback. Tails' backstory, Knuckles' backstory. And then like they were talking about, Sonic movie 3 is actually probably the most Earthbound movie of it all. Despite the fact that they go to space, they're really, you know, still all on top of Earth, so it's not like too crazy, but still very cool, still very Sonic-like stuff that we saw in the game, so it's very cool, I like that. But I think a lot of people would like to see the franchise go into some other places, really just straight up leave Earth for a little bit, and while I don't believe that these movies are going to ever completely ditch the planet Earth, I think that it's not only a little jumping the shark at this point, with so many ties to Earth still being in place, it's not really something you can abruptly leave. I feel like movie 4 has the opportunity to really take characters somewhere different because of what the story is setting up. With Amy and Metal Sonic coming into the fold, there's a lot of mystery on how they got here, what's going on. Amy's just not casually here along with these armies of Sonic designed robots. Of course she got here somehow, whether that be rings or some other form of transportation, we'll see. Of course it will be explained in the movie once when we see it in a few years. And while a lot of people have looked at the fact that Amy and Metal Sonic are going to be in Sonic movie 4 and have been like, oh, that means we're going to get a Sonic CD adaptation, that means we're gonna get Little Planet, we're gonna get all that, I don't see that happening. I don't really think that this movie is gonna be adaptation of Sonic CD whatsoever, but I think getting a little more extraterrestrial, I think going to some other planets will be fun. Them being on Earth is one of the biggest draws of the Sonic movies. It is very exciting that, you know, you get to see the Sonic franchise interact with that location, which is really only something we've got in stuff like Sonic X in particular, where they try to do the fish out of water thing. And with Sonic running into New York at the end of 3, where we have the post-credit scene with Amy and Metal Sonic, maybe they're gonna do a whole, oh, Sonic and friends are in New York now, you know, do a little Smurfs thing. I'm joking, guys. I don't think anybody wants to see that. But there's a lot of potential on taking the Sonic movie franchise outside of Earth. While I don't want to see them completely ditch it, I do enjoy Sonic and friends being on Earth. I think it layers it a bit, makes it a bit more grounded. As a Sonic fan, the franchise has a lot of stories that travel planet to planet, doing different things, and I enjoy that. So look out for that potentially in Sonic movie 4. But our last story is in Sonic movie 4 might already be filming? Yeah, you heard me right. So according to production list, Sonic Movie 4 might already be starting filming in Vancouver. If you look right here at the Film and Television Industry Alliance, it says Sonic the Hedgehog 4 feature film in development / pre-production with a shoot date for February 28th in 2025. Sonic the Hedgehog 4 will be the 4th film in the Sonic the Hedgehog cinematic universe and is set to release in spring 2027. Once again, filming in Vancouver, which the franchise has done before. Now this is of course incredibly interesting because one, we don't even have a strict set release date yet. We have a time frame on when it can release. We just don't know exactly when. We don't have cast members together yet for the movie. Of course the actress who's going to play Amy or the actor who might play Metal Sonic or some other new characters in it aren't going to need to be casted. You know, those are voice roles that could be cast like super late down the line. I mean more people like Christian Ritter or Alia Brown or the type of actors you saw pop up in 3 who play more significant human roles. You kind of need them on the set for that. So more important than that though is the fact that we don't even know if this movie has a script done, let alone a script at all. Of course I think that Patrick Casey and Josh Miller love this franchise and have been floating around ideas on what they can do with 4 and have been maybe putting some pen to paper already. But guys, this movie wasn't greenlit until like 3 weeks ago. This movie was officially announced on preview day for Sonic Movie 3. This is shocking information. You know, I'm gonna choose to believe the Film and Television Industry Alliance, but this is still very strange. There could be an error in here, I have no clue. But we saw Sonic Movie 3 film pretty early on without a lot of cast announcements yet or anything like that. Like months and months before they even announced like live action cast members that we ended up seeing pop up in the movie. So they could very well be getting Sonic the Hedgehog scenes already filmed where it's just Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, Shadow, Amy, all these other different characters that only require CGI, and then getting a bunch of their other photography and stuff like that done later on. Or this could also be for, you know, planning, doing tests, things like that. We'll see what happens. But those are all the updates in regards to Sonic Movie 3 that we have so far. It's very exciting to summarize. Dr. Eggman, Jim Carrey, has interest in returning, which means that we could very well see him in pop up in Sonic Movie 4. I hope they do so. I think they need to do so. Not just that, but we could see the Sonic movies go into space very soon. And lastly, movie 4 might get started filming next month, which is bonkers. I know that the craziest stories in the world, we're not getting like details on who Amy's character is going to be like, but I'm so excited for this movie. It's naturally my most anticipated Sonic project coming up, unless they announce Sonic Adventure 3. So I cannot wait for this thing, but this is where I pass off to you and ask what you think. What do you think about the details that we got for Sonic movie 4 so far? Do you want to see Dr. Eggman return in 4? Do you want the characters to go to another planet or another place that's not Earth? And lastly, what do you think about the film actually starting filming next month? Let me know in the comment section down below. I'd love to know what you guys have to say. Feel free to find my social media links, my Twitter and Instagram in the description below. You can follow those behind scenes in my life, future content, and all things Sonic the Hedgehog. But most importantly, if you're not subscribed, make sure you're subscribed. This is the #1 destination on YouTube for all things Sonic. With these video games, TV shows, comic books, merchandise, and more, we talk about it all. We have a lot more Sonic movie 3 and Sonic movie 4 to talk about upcoming projects this year, like Sonic Racing Crossworlds, all the different stuff that's going on. We have a lot of amazing content. I love all you so much, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.
Right by the motherfucking seaside, dog. Everything I see, I got a dream. I thought these leaves would go and take me out the dark. I know everything I wanted to find away.